Welcome back to yours truly, the one and only. You guys know what it is. And today, we got our very first gig log. Let's get it cracking. So, we have a triple header weekend. We have first Taraji P. Henson's meet and greet right here in the DMV, her hometown, as well as my hometown. Then, next, we have 2 gigs in one day. We have the Find Yours Cold Plunge, which we do about twice a month. I post a lot of content about that on TikTok and Instagram, but I figured I'd go ahead and throw them in the YouTube gig log because, one, they take care of me, and it's always a good time and a fun time as well. And then lastly, we have a cocktail party, about a 4-hour set, 8 to midnight, right after the cold, well, not right after, but later in the day after the cold plunge. So yeah, three gigs and 1 gig log. It should be good. All are technically kind of 3 different setups. So for obviously the Taraji meet and greet, I'm gonna be outside, so I wish I could have brought my sub, but this was late notice. So, and for me to bring my sub, I don't have a truck currently. I recently just lost my vehicle, so I'm working to get another one. So when I do bring my subs, I usually rent, a van or a vehicle that can carry that. So we're just rocking out with 2 cute QSC tops. For the Fire Scroll Plunge, I use the same setup every single time. I just bring the one QSC KC12. It does everything it needs to do for the crowd that's there, and as well as I usually have the Everse 8 as just a little monitor, which will actually be at all the events. All right, so we've just arrived to the meet and greet, and boy, oh boy, there is quite the line to meet the Mrs. Taraji P. Henson. We got a line that's takes up damn near the whole block for people to meet Taraji. So I'm about to call my point of contact to make sure that I can be in the right spot for setup, and we will go from there and check in soon. Okay, so I did not record my setup for the Taraji P. Henson meet and greet event because I was just so excited to just get to work. So I literally didn't even set up a camera. I just got straight to it. Plus I was talking to her content creation team, her PR team, and as well as the other people I was working with. So yeah, I just was caught up in the moment, of course. But I do have clips from the event. So I'm going to throw these in right after this. And then lastly, I'll show a picture with me, a good friend of mine named Rachel. Shout out to Rachel and Nyla. Nyla's the one who got me and Rachel booked for this event. So shout out to Nyla and shout out to Rachel for connecting me with her as well. And yeah, roll the clips. We go MacBook Pro M1 chip Pioneer DDJ Rev 7. We got the Phoenix Pro wireless microphones. I don't know why I stuttered there. Pioneer DJ headphones. We got our audio rack down here with our external mixers. We're rocking a Mackie Pro Effects 10 V3, and then we got our Furman power conditioner here. Phoenix Pro wireless microphones PTU 5000. Then we have a drawer down here, but it's locked so it doesn't fall out on its own. Rocking the QC K12.2 in the top, and we have an Electro Voice Everse 8 all the way in the back where Taraji P. Henson is. All right, so we are now leaving the Taraji P. Henson's meet and greet for her new wine, $7. It was a great event, high energy, especially for it to be at a local liquor store just in Maryland. Super high energy. Everybody was super excited to see her, meet her, buy the wine and stuff like that. And yeah, it was just amazing, being able to interact with the crowd. Also, I didn't say this earlier, I don't think. I want to say shout out to Rachel, the DMV connoisseur, for giving me the opportunity and being able to showcase my talent, especially in front of a big figure like that in the game, of course, especially for representing the hometown as well. So shout out Rachel. But yeah, it was, like I said, overall great event. I'm on the way right now to actually go on a little date with the missus. You know what I'm saying? Always gotta take care of family and loved ones, after you get a lot of work in, and also take care of yourself. But I actually got a picture with Taraji, so I'll throw that picture in right here. And yeah, so I will see you guys tomorrow morning when I'm recording for the Find Yours Cold Plunge. The idea is what I'm going to do is I have both the K12s with me right now. So I'm going to swap out one of the K12s for the Colin Ray, and we'll rock with that for the Find Yours Cold Plunge. And we are back. So today we got the Find Yours Cold Plunge and then a cocktail party later in the evening, like I said earlier in the video. So right now we're heading to the Find Yours Cold Plunge. I'm going to record this setup because I didn't get a chance to record this setup for Taraji P. Henson. Something that I like to tell DJs, that's something you should do for yourself to take care of yourself prior to your gigs, is to make sure that you're staying hydrated. So you have water or whatever you like to drink before your gigs, coffee, Gatorade, whatever that gets you right, Red Bull, as long as it, you're hydrated. Obviously, I would definitely say drink some water, then that's good. That's step one. Two is obviously to eat. So especially if you have a gig like in the morning or really late at night, which is usually outside of or during the hours when you would be eating, make sure you bring some food. Like after you finish setting up and you still got 40, 30 minutes before the event time starts, just take a quick bite of something, whether it's, some fast food from around the corner, or, a snack that you brought from home, a cooked meal from last night. Just make sure you eat. Because I tell these all the time, if you feel uncomfortable, if you have a headache or your stomach hurts or, you're starving, yes, you probably can perform the same, but it's don't you want to be in the most comfortable position you could be in? So why not feed yourself? One thing I will say about this content creation thing, especially as a DJ or even as a vendor, someone that does a lot of stuff at events and stuff like that, it's kind of difficult, especially when you're doing a very high stake events like I did yesterday for Taraji P's meet and greet. It's you get so caught up in trying to make sure you're doing your job that like I did, you forget to set up the camera and hit record and stuff like that. So I would say, especially if you're a more bigger DJ and you have a good amount of income to where you can pay someone or have someone that's family or somebody that can do content creation on your behalf, that's probably the best way to do it. Because I get so caught up in making sure that my setup looks good, this looks clean, and there's nothing wrong with that, of course, because that's my first job. Content creation is just to help my business, but in that moment, I need to do what I need to do to make sure my client is happy. So I would definitely say if you're, new to DJing or, you're trying to do the content creation thing while you're, doing your DJ stuff, what I like to do is, first things first, as soon as I get out my car, I bring my tripod and my phone, and then I walk into the venue, get an idea of where I want to set up. I ask the client, what do you want me to set up? I'll put my tripod down, mount the camera onto it, and then it lets me know, one, where I need to set up, and I center that to where I want my booth to go, and then two, then boom, it's already up and going. So as I bring my stuff in, all I got to do is just hit the record button and then just rock out. So this is definitely not one of my better setup videos, simply because one, the angle is just so far away, and usually it's more so in front, but we'll just roll with it. So pretty much when I DJ outside, I always have a tarp to be underneath all my equipment to protect the legs so it's not getting dirt or wet, and then a tent for if it's sunny outside, I don't get my equipment heat soaked, and as well as if it starts to rain, I can throw everything underneath the tent and be safe. So this is me doing the cold tub challenge, the Paradise Find Yours cold tub challenge, and I just want to say that this is not easy. It definitely takes some mental strength to be able to get in that tub, sit there for 3 minutes, at least for that casual person. Of course, I know athletes and people that do it, consistently, but for the average person that does not do it, it definitely takes some mental strength. But I appreciate all the community that supported me as well to get in the tub, and of course, shout out to my client Jemiah for always booking me, and we have a great time every single time we do the cold plunge. All right, so we just finished up the cold plunge. We're at Chick-fil-A, about to get us some lunch. Like I said, always take care of yourself before gigs, during gigs if you can, and definitely after gigs, especially if you have 2 or 3 events in one day. So, okay, so something that I just realized, I wouldn't say it's a mistake, it's just I forgot to review what was in the contract to be exact, so that I'm making sure I'm following everything that was laid out. But pretty much, the event starts at 8 p.m. I usually get to venues 2 hours early to make sure that I have enough time to set up, do sound check. If there's any cords that I'm missing or cords that are faulty, I can make sure I can go to the local store or grab an extra one on my car if needed to replace it, and so on. Forgot that the client stated that they would not have access to the venue until 7 o'clock p.m. So I was there at 6 o'clock on the dot. So I just went around the corner to a new restaurant to check out because I've seen that they are looking to try to have live musical entertainment to be exact. So like I always tell you guys, always network, try to put your name out there because you never know. Opportunity might present itself. I may go into this restaurant trying to get, a gig here, and then someone may be like, oh, we already have DJs, or, we already, have something going on here. We're good at that. But somebody else may overhear and be like, hey, actually, I got, this coming up or, whatever the case may be. I give them the business card. They got something else going on in their personal life. And then, they think of me as the person that came up to them, a couple weeks ago or months ago, and they still got my business card. Alrighty, so we are now back here at the venue. It is now 6:55. Try to waste as much time as I could talking to the people at the venue. Then they obviously said that, they got their own things going on and things like that. So I clearly understand, gave my business cards and went about my day. There's nothing wrong with that. But so my idea / plan was to record me loading in. So taking all of my equipment out of my car, putting it in the cart, and then setting up. But it's raining really, really bad. And I'm going to probably most likely just try to get my equipment inside as fast as possible. So I already know the camera, my chest camera is going to be flipping and flopping all around and stuff like that. So considering that, I'm just going to use the chest camera to record my whole actual setup when I'm actually putting stuff up in the venue, and we'll go from there. So I'll see you guys in a second. So first thing I like to set up is my Pro X booth, because once I get that, set up and centered, then I know how to put everything else around it, from the speakers, and obviously the Rev 7 has to go in there, the computer has to go on top. So the Pro X booth is pretty much essential and is the first thing that has to get set up. From there, I start setting up my audio rack underneath. So I use a little mini table that I got from Amazon, and then I start putting out all the cables that sit in the audio rack. So my Rev 7 computer charger as well, and as well as other little electricity cables. From there, we are now getting the Rev 7 in the booth, and we are plugging in the power cord for it and all the other cables, so XLRs, 1/4-inch cables, and all that to get the sound running. And from there, we are now setting up our QSC KC12 column array. And then we are jumping over to the Electro Voice Everse 8, getting a tripod stand down, and make sure you always are using scrims. Scrims are such a nice look to make sure that, people don't see the stand. And these look so much nicer when you use scrims. I always tell people, get a black pair and a white pair and you're all good to set. But this is pretty much me just finishing up the final touches. We're going to give a thumbs up to let you know we're all good to go. Good morning. Time is now 8:13 a.m. the next day after all the gigs have been completed. My chain looks a little funny. Sorry. But now we do the work that a lot of DJs skip out on, which is getting all of our equipment back into storage and getting it all organized. So all the cords that were, out of the bag, strangled, I just threw in the car or threw in whatever bags. Now we need to make sure that everything gets back to where it's supposed to go. So when I do my next gig the following weekend, I know exactly where everything is and stuff like that. So having all your stuff organized is super, super helpful. I'm going to throw on a time lapse. I'm super tired after getting home at 1, 2 a.m. last night. So work got to get done. Let's get to it.